Hi there, welcome back to the podcast. Myself, Joseph Clough. For more information about me, go ahead and visit my website, josephclough.com, as well as if you want to really accelerate your life, go to completelifemastery.com. And to stay up to date in everything that I do, from quotes to giveaways to being updated with these podcasts, go to facebook.com/Joseph's fanpage, as well as twitter.com/Joseph Clough. Now, I'm on holiday at the moment, so I'm literally recording this through my Mac Air, and the quality is not as good as my studio, but hopefully my message and what I'll be teaching you today will be very, very powerful still. So, on my Facebook and Twitter, I was just saying a quick tip of how you can change anxiety or any feelings for that matter. So, any emotion that you feel in your body which you dislike, this process is going to really help you make changes about how you can really retrain how your mind works. So let's go straight to it really. So first of all, if we have the experience of anxiety or fear or worry, any negative emotion, in other words, whether it be anger, sadness, fear, guilt, hurt, frustration, you name it, if we experience these on a consistent level, so we habitually even, or is that even a word? Oh, you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? I can't stop or edit these, so you're going to get exactly what I'm saying at every moment. So whatever you habitually, I still don't think that makes sense, but I'm going to carry on. So whatever you experience on a consistent level is going to become a habit. It's going to cause you to experience it more often than not. So wherever your attention goes, whatever you're experiencing, whatever thoughts you have on a consistent basis, whatever feelings you have on a consistent basis, becomes more present in your life. And that goes for the positive and negative. Once you start to become more open-minded, you become to awaken your consciousness, you begin to become aware of how the mind works, and you put your attention to the things that you want, or you utilize the power of focus so you can focus on exactly what you want, it will become more in your life ultimately. It will really be there, and your brain actually looks for more of it. That's the way the brain works. So whatever you focus on, you're actually expanding that awareness and that focus upon it. So really, if we are experiencing negative thoughts or feelings, and that's the topic for this one, how we can change those negative feelings. If we experience those feelings that we dislike on a consistent basis, that too will be more present in our life. It will become a habit. And we all know how habits are formed. You do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times, you do it 100 times over a period of time. And it will start to become an unconscious habit. Very much like walking, like driving a car, like doing any behavior for that matter. If you have 10 cans of Coke every day, which I totally do not advise, but if you were to, and you do it for, say, 6 months, I can guarantee you're gonna develop probably an addiction after a few weeks, because your body gets used to it. It begins to develop familiar connections. So imagine this for a metaphor. Imagine a big overgrown garden. Now, the more times you walk down the same pathway, the same route of this overgrown garden, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to become more well trodden down, isn't it? The more you go through the mess, the bushes, and you keep going down that same route, back and forth, and back and forth, after a while, the garden gets used to being trodden down, and it becomes a pathway. Now let's take that metaphor of this overgrown garden, and the more times you go through it, becomes more trodden down. Let's take that metaphor into the brain. So the more times you go down that exact same route of that feeling, or that thought, or that behavior, that too will become well trodden down, and it'll be the familiar way of how your mind will work. And once again, that works for the good, that works for the bad, it works for everything. So the more you begin to think that way or feel that way, it'll become much more an easier way of being, whether it be positive or negative. So it's just easier for your brain to do that behavior because it's so familiar with it. But what we want to do is to be able to change those feelings So if you're experiencing the feelings that you dislike, if you're experiencing the fear or worry, how can we stop that process? How can we retrain our mind how to think or feel, more importantly, to feel a new way? Now, the very first step number one, is to be conscious of this. More often than not, this becomes an automatic. It becomes unconscious, as we said. The more times you do it, it becomes an unconscious habit. So the very first step is to be conscious of your feelings. We don't do that on a day-to-day basis. We allow our emotions or our feelings to usually dictate our life, our behavior, our results. So the first step is being conscious of this. So once you are conscious of this, then we can make a change. So no longer allow it to be a prolonged feeling, no longer allow it to be ever present in our mind and just allowing it to run riot in our life. We've got to really be conscious of this. We've got to be conscious of our emotions. When we become conscious of our emotions, that's the first key in order to make a change. So let's say, for example, tomorrow you experience an emotion that you really dislike, that you no longer want to experience. This is a perfect opportunity to start it. You don't start it after having experienced it for an hour or 2 hours. You don't start this process even after 10 minutes. As soon as you feel the feeling, this is the time to do this process. But you have to be conscious of this. You have to be conscious of the emotions that you feel. So once, let's say for example, whenever you experience this feeling, you are completely conscious of it. Within the first few seconds, the first few minutes, you become aware that this feeling is something that you dislike. Now, what I'd like you to do, and you can do this now if you want, if you're suffering from any negative emotion or any feeling that you dislike, I want you to be conscious of that feeling. And as you become conscious of that feeling, I want you to notice some fundamental things. You see, the more we become conscious of our strategies, the more we become aware of what's happening in our body and how the process works, we can break it down and start to break that strategy. We can break that strategy, so rather going down that well-trodden pathway of that overgrown garden, straight away we're going down a new route. So every time you experience it, we become conscious and go bang, we're going straight to a new route. So let's just say you experience that feeling. I want you to notice where you feel it in your body. For some, it could be in a certain part of your body, like, for example, in your stomach, or in your chest, in your head, anywhere in your body. Just become aware of that. Notice the location of that feeling. Now, as you become aware of that feeling and the location where it's present, what I'd like you to do is just notice the direction of that feeling. Now, that sounds very strange because we don't think about it like that. But usually when we experience something like anxiety or fear or worry or doubt, whatever it may be, there's movement to it. In order to feel something, there must be a movement. We must be aware of it. So as you become aware of that feeling, you'll notice it starts to move in a direction. Now, as you notice it becomes in a direction, you'll notice it will be like a spinning feeling more often than not. Just become aware of that. And I say that simply because if it's continually moving in one direction, it's going to leave your body. So it has to loop back round into your body. So become aware of how you experience that feeling in that location and the direction that it's spinning. Now, it could be clockwise or anti-clockwise. It could be going over or going up and over. Become aware of that. Just put your attention to it. You'll notice it there. Now, as you notice that movement and the direction it spins, I want you to go ahead and put a color to it. Whatever's most fitting. You may even had it before I spoke. That can be very common. But become aware of a color associated to that feeling that you dislike. So now we're aware of the location of that feeling. We're aware that it's moving in a circular motion or a spinning motion in a certain direction. And we're also aware of the color of that feeling, whatever color we put to it. Now, as you do that, become aware of those things. Sometimes there can be sounds attached to it. The way the mind works out is it does it through visual, our auditory, our kinesthetic. So it can be through we can see it, hear it, feel it, in other words, even sometimes taste it. But usually it's the first three. So we're experiencing the location, the kinesthetic location, the feeling of that, feeling that you no longer wish. And we're also becoming aware of the movement, which is a feeling. We put a color to it, so that's the visual side of things. We can be also aware of a sound. It's not always common, but it can definitely be a part of a strategy. So just be aware of that if that is the case. So having got that, what I'd like you to do is to begin to change that color whilst moving that feeling ever so slowly at first in the opposite direction. So wherever you're experiencing that feeling in the location of your body, you notice it had a color and it's spinning in a certain direction. Start to spin it the other way around. As you start to spin it the other way around, change that color into one which is far more pleasing for you. So it could be more calming, it could be more motivating, it could be more happy, but whatever it is, change that color and that movement in the opposite direction. So we're putting a new color to it and we're changing the direction of that feeling. And allow that to increase. Now, you may get to a level where you think that's enough and that's fine. You may just want to test it out and just spin it faster and faster and faster. As you allow that to spin in the opposite direction in this new color, you'll notice how you'll feel differently now. And as you do that, allow that feeling to expand. So you can allow that spinning feeling in the right way, going in the right direction, in the perfect color for you. Allow that spinning to just expand around your body. So it's beginning to grow and nourish and bathe each cell of your neurology in a new, wonderful, calming way, or a more enlightening way, in a more comforting way, in a way that allows you to feel good feelings, because you can be in control of these feelings. You can direct the flow of your inner energy. So begin to spin it round and expand it. Now expand that color around your whole body. Allow it to go all the way around your body. If there's sounds there, change your sounds into pleasing sounds. Now this could be your own self-talk. So you can be going, for example, I am relaxed. I am content. I am comfortable. I am fill in the blank. It could be I am love, I am confident, I am worthy. Whatever's fitting for you, add that positive sound to it, because that will be a part of the new strategy. And just allow that to happen. Now we're starting to train up your neurology to think in this new way. So allow that feeling to continue to spin in the right new direction, with the right wonderful color, with a new empowering inner dialogue, or even just a general sound to motivate or help you. It could be a sound, for example, like the waves of a shore of the sea. It could be calming music. It could be anything that you want. It could be someone else's voice just motivating you. But definitely, if you can, allow it to be your own empowering internal dialogue. And really fuse those together. Fuse the feelings, fuse the direction, and allow it to expand around your whole body, nourishing and bathing each cell of your neurology. Now, the more you do this, you're telling your unconscious mind that that old strategy, that old way of feeling is no longer appropriate and absolutely no longer wanted. Right at the beginning, I said to be conscious. Now is your time to be conscious of directing your energy in moving it in the right direction, in the right color, in the right sound. There's a great way of changing your internal state, your emotional well-being, and your emotional feelings. And by utilizing your internal dialogue, this will also create empowering beliefs. It will start to develop new neuro associations to that. For example, what you can do to expand this is by thinking of the event which you may have been anxious about in the past, or fearful or doubtful. Spin the feelings in the right way in this new color with those wonderful sounds, and think of that event. What's happening here on a deeper level is every time you think of that event which you were fearful of or anxious of, you're starting to get the new neuro association with this new feeling. This starts to saturize those old feelings and develop this new connection, this new association. So in the future, whenever you think of that event which you were worried about, you now have these new feelings there. You have this new whole strategy of being. So you can bring that into your life. You can bring that there, and that will cause you to start to change your associations. The way we see the world is made up by these associations. If you think of something that you absolutely dislike in a food, you're going to have certain feelings to it. If you think of something that you absolutely love, you're going to have the opposite feelings. If you think of a loved one, you're going to feel certain emotional feelings to that person. If you think of something that you were fearful of, you would have had those old fearful feelings or those fearful thoughts and images. But by changing this, by having that in your mind and spinning this in a new way, it will cause your neurology, it will cause your unconscious mind to say, hey, this is the new way I see things. There's the new strategy. So that's the great way of changing your emotional state for anything which has been holding you back. Now, there's lots of really weird, there's lots of really weird and wonderful ways you can utilize this in other areas, which I want to touch upon as well. So you can do this for literally any type of issue when you have feelings there. You can do it to increase your own internal dialogue, to really motivate yourself. You can also do this. Imagine this for a second. Let's just say you experience a wonderful feeling. For example, you just get some wonderful news from someone, maybe about your job or career, or maybe if you're working with clients, someone said they had amazing results with you. Or, for example, you're watching a movie or you're spending time with a loved one and you feel absolutely great. What can we do here to increase it? Well, become aware of that feeling. Notice the location. And then as you notice the location, notice the way that it's spinning once again and the color associated to it. What would happen if you just increase that speed? So you don't have to do it in the opposite direction because it is a good feeling. But if you were to increase that spinning feeling, increase the colors, expand it throughout your whole body, increase the internal dialogue, you can only feel better. You see, now, not only can we change negative emotions, we can actually increase the wonderful feelings we experience. And that is absolutely powerful. So whenever you experience a good feeling, and I really suggest this, whenever you experience that good feeling, go ahead and notice it. Become aware of your internal strategy for having that feeling. Notice which direction it spins. Notice with the location. Notice the color. And expand upon that. Expand the feelings until it really increases the way that you feel inside. Increase the internal dialogue. Increase the sounds. Make it a whole cinema. Like a whole stereo surround sound. Wonderful feelings. Expanding, getting brighter, bigger, bolder. Allow that to be a part of your experience of the world. That is a great way of just generally increasing how you feel about yourself or how you feel about wherever you are right now. You can do this in a slower level as well. So for example, let's just say we want to get to sleep, but for some reason we're quite highly energized, but we really think I need to go to sleep. Notice how that feeling spins. Slow it down. Soften it even. Allow it to become soothing. This will cause your brain to think, okay, now is the time to go to sleep. You see, all we're doing here is becoming aware of how we experience certain feelings, how we experience our life, how we experience what's happening in our body, regulating it, modifying it, increasing it, decreasing it, changing the direction, changing the sounds or feelings. By doing so, we're just becoming conscious. We're allowing our unconscious processes to be conscious so we can begin to direct them. This is a great way of just literally living your life to the full. There's a great way of becoming aware of what's happening in your body to begin to expand your results and expand how you feel in the world. So I really hope you've enjoyed that. I think it's a very powerful tool, and if you're a therapist, utilize this with your clients. It's a great way of making changes. It's all free information from me. You know I'm here to support you. Tell people about this. If someone's feeling bad, do the exact same process. Say, I wonder where you feel that in your body. Where's the location of it? Notice which direction it spins. Now begin to change the direction of that spinning. Change the color. Change the internal sounds. You're going to make powerful changes in someone, even if it's just a friend or a work colleague. All of this is very powerful processes which you can now become conscious of. So I really hope you enjoyed that podcast, this gift from me. I really love supporting you and helping you in the best way I can. So much so that I'm actually on holiday at the moment, but I'm doing podcasts still on these gifts because I really want to help you. When I think of these things, I want to be able to share them with you. So if you are enjoying them, write a review. If you're enjoying what I'm saying, share it to people, because the way I see it is, I can reach so many people, but you can reach more people. Because we can pass on how we can have a more empowering life by just allowing people to know this free information. It's all here for you. There's what I'm here for. I'm here to serve you and serve all your friends, your family, and help you in the best way I can. And that's really what I'm about. So go ahead and do that. That'd be great. Now, also, if you're on the... if you have an iPhone, very good, exciting news, because I'm just adding another, I think there's exactly 33 new audios on there. That's going to happen in the next week or so. So watch out for that update. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, go onto the App Store, search my name, Joseph Clough. It'll come straight up there. Download it, and you'll notice, even if you hadn't now, there's free stuff on there anyway. But as you download it, you'll also be updated with all the other 33 new audios which will be going on there as well. So that's going to be really powerful. I also have my Android app as well, so if you have an Android, you can download that. Once again, Joseph Clough. As well as, I've got the new program, Complete Life Mastery, and it's over 100 hours of my work, from seminars, live videos, life-changing programs for your health, relationships, career, money, all those type of things. It's all there for you, and that's just CompleteLifeMastery.com. And as always, really stay in touch with me. I'm here to support you. Always try to connect with you all the time. Always reply to the status or the comments that you make. I try to respond to you as soon as possible with that. Even when on holiday, I've been doing it this evening, so go ahead on Facebook.com/Joseph's fan page, as well as Twitter.com/Joseph Clough. There's all here to support you, to help you to realize that you are so powerful, that you are loved, that I believe in you in every way, and that you can be your potential. So have a great day. A big hello from Boston, America. There's where I am right now on holiday. And I really look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Have a great evening, a great day, wherever you are. And just keep shining. I'll speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.